Hi guys, hope everybody is safe and well. This next series of videos is going to be the directions and examples for the final exam for Guitar 1. So we are going to need to go through 5 examples. Remember, you are only to choose 4 examples for your final. And I'm going to go through them as they are listed in the back of your syllabus, 1 through 5. With some very slight modifications, and we will again explain each one as we go through. I'll do them in 5 separate videos. And there was an email that went out to the students about the minor changes that we made, but I'll explain them in each video as we go. So this first example is a chord example. It is playing the Folia, which is the name of the piece of music. It's a chord progression that was used quite often in the Baroque period. The Folia is in Chapter 6 of Mary Jo Disler's Quick Start. I sent that out as a PDF to you, and it is on page 45. And there are 2 parts to this example. So this is example number 1. There are 2 parts to this example. You have to do both parts. So initially I would have asked you 3 chords in a performance test, but you can demonstrate that you have the knowledge of at least 3 chords on the Hal Leonard page 49 list. So that was the sheet that I've shown in the video series before. You have to play at least 3 of these chords and demonstrate it for me. I'll go through all of them right now. And what I'm looking for here is that you're playing the correct string in the bass for each chord, and the correct fingering and notes are audible. So make sure I can see your face and hands in all these videos so I know it's you playing. And I'll start with the E chords. This is E minor, all 6 strings. This is E major. This is E7. All of those chords have the 6th string in the bass. If I start with the A chords next, I'll have A minor with the 5th string in the bass. A minor. A major. Also 5th string in the bass. A7. 5 strings in all of the A chords. If I go to the D chords next, the 4th string will be in the bass. And I'll play D minor first. D major with the 4th string in the bass, and D7. You can alter the fingerings of these chords if you need to, but make sure you're playing the correct notes that are marked on the sheet. If I switch to some of the chords that have fretted notes in the bass rather than open strings, I have G, all 6 strings there, G7, all 6 strings there, C chord with 5th string in the bass, C7 with 5th string in the bass, and the F chord with 4th string in the bass. We use the middle F in 1st position as the bass note. Notice my knuckle is a little forward to get that bar on the first 2 strings. And the only other chord I haven't played is B7, which is also 5th string in the bass. So once again, you are to pick 3 of those chords and demonstrate that you can play those chords to me. You can say the name of the chord and play it and make sure it's audible and you're including the correct strings. The second half of this, number 1 for our performance final, is to play the Folia progression. And again, it's a little bit more of an intermediate progression because of the C-G-C exchange. Students who are just beginning chord playing might consider skipping this because remember, you can skip one example. I'm going to play this Folia twice for the requirement, once with quarter notes and once with a variation. But I'll give you a couple of different variations here and explain each one as I go. So here's what the Folia would sound like in quarter notes. And I'm being very careful to play the correct strings in the bass again. You don't have to count out loud or say the chord names here. They are A minor, E, A minor, G, C, G, A minor, E, A minor. 1, 2, 3. Although there's a repeat sign at the end of that example, you don't have to do a direct repeat. You can pause in between your two examples. So that one was the quarter notes. I'm going to do dotted half notes this time. 1, 2, 3. And this next time I will do eighth notes, down and up strum for every beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and... And I will allow for bass chord here, even though the rhythm is eighth notes. It's a different picking pattern, and I would select the bass note for each chord and then strum the notes above that. Here's an example of that. And there's a finger-picking example in the Disler book that you can find in Chapter 11. I'll give you the page number. It is page 64, and the example is number 11, and it would sound like this if I followed the Disler finger-picking rules, and this is another option too. Missed one note in there as I was trying to adjust for the camera. So there's at least 3 examples besides the quarter note example. You can do any thing that maintains 3 beats per measure. Make sure you stay with 3 beats per measure. Use a metronome if you have to, because that will be something that will be marked against you, even if you're playing the right chords. If you play an example that's in 4/4 or 2/4 rhythm, so make sure you're counting 3 beats per measure and 3 beats per chord, whatever your example is. So that is the first video for number 1 on the performance final. And again, you can email me at any time if you have any questions, and we'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.